to. So I gathered from that Job looking out for his kids, and it wasn't even just on a material thing, but he wanted to make sure they were straight with God. Hey, that's a good man right there. He was looking after their spiritual well-being for when they were going to be gone and when he would no longer be their father. Job is a good man. But Job too, he was nearly crushed by the pain of the suffering that he had to endure. Job had to endure some pain. It says, if you will look at chapter 1, it says he tore his robe off.
Come on now, preacher.
He shaved his head. He fell to the ground when he heard that his children had died. Job still chose faith in this time of suffering. In the midst of suffering, Job chose faith, and it did not eliminate Job's pain. If you were to travel a little further into chapter 2, it talks about how Job, his health got taken from him. He had some physical ailments going on, and it says that his physical ailments were so painful that he used a broken vase, a broken piece of pottery as the tools in his homemade surgery. Job was feeling so much pain, he did surgery on himself. And yet, even in the midst of such pain and heartache, Job was able to utter some of the most said. And this after he found out his kids have died. He says, naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will depart. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. May the name of the Lord be praised. So even though Job was suffering, even though his babies were gone, he still said, hey, we still got to praise the name. And then the chapter 2, verse 10, what I read, the last verse I read, he says, shall we accept good from God and not trouble? And all of this that Job did and all this that he said, he never sinned from his lips. This first point simply is choosing faith in the midst of the struggle will not eliminate your pain. It was this professor. It was a preaching professor at Harvard University, and he tells a story about his 5-year-old son, and it pretty much simply goes like this. His son was working on a project, an art project in his kindergarten class, and it was made of plaster. It resembled nothing in particular. You know, all you parents and you have nieces and nephews, you know how it is when you have kids. They make you stuff. They make you stuff, and from what I've come to learn is that I like the stuff they make better than the stuff they spend money on. First of all, I know my oldest is 8, and I know she ain't got no job, so I know that the gift, the money not coming from her, but I know that when she makes it, I know that it's coming from the heart, so it's more sincere, it's more personal, more intimate. And that's what pretty much happened here. The son wanted to make something for his father for Christmas. You know, it was ready to be wrapped as a gift. He worked all school year on it, and he wrapped it himself. And it says that he was beside himself with excitement. It would be a gift to his father. And you know, early in December, when the boy, you know how it is when you're young, you can't really hold water. But for him to hold it as long as he did, he couldn't contain himself. He wanted to tell his dad, like, Dad, I made you something. The last day of school finally came around, and all the parents came. You know, they had a Christmas production they put on, and when the students left, they were finally able to take their presents home. Now this professor, his son, got his gift, ran towards his parents, tripped, and fell to the floor. The gift, of course, went airborne, and when it landed on the floor, the shattering sound stopped all conversations. It was perfectly quiet for a moment as all involved considered the magnitude of the loss. Now, for this 5-year-old boy, there had never been a more expensive gift. It was nothing else more that meant more to him than this gift he made for his father. See, and when it broke, you know, he started crying. Of course, he's 5 years old. He's like, I worked on this. This was for my father. This hurts. I broke it. I'm embarrassed. I fell in front of all these people. So he fell to the ground. He fell to the ground and started crying. Of course, mother and father, they both rushed to their son. But the father was uncomfortable with that moment because he's looking at it like, my boy is in the middle of this floor. People laughing at him. They're looking at him. He's crying. We need to get on up out of here. He patted his son on the head and said, son, Joseph Jr., it's okay. Get up. We got to go. It's all right. It's all right. But that mother, she looked at her husband and said, oh, yes, it does matter. It's not okay. She said to both of them, it matters. She took her son in her arms, rocked him back and forth, and she cried with him. In a few minutes, they both stopped crying. Now said the mother, let's go home and let's see what can be made of what's left.
All right.
And so the mother, you know, with her touch, her magic touch, and a glue gun, they put together from the broken pieces a butterfly. Ain't that funny how mothers are so creative?
All right.
I'm like, let's just go buy something else. Let's just tell her what happened. You know, mama understand. But this mother, she was creative, and they put together a butterfly. And amazingly, and this is the amazing part, this is the point of the story, amazingly, the artwork after the tragedy was actually more beautiful than when the son first made it. Wow. So you telling me you put something together and it's whole, and you think it's the most expensive gift, and you're preparing to give this to your father, and then you break it. You break it, and now it's something that you don't even notice. You don't know how you're going to put the pieces back together. But you're telling me that this mother, her magic touch and her love and her gentleness, it was able to put it back together into something more beautiful than when it was first created. I know it says mother, but to me that sounds like my father. It sounds like what he can do with our broken pieces. Because I've heard that your broken pieces can become blessed pieces if you allow God to do repairing on the pieces. And so the father, after that, he kept the butterfly on his desk until he retired. It was a constant reminder to him that grief is real. Pain is real. Suffering is real. And then when you lose something, it does hurt. But it also was a reminder that from that great loss, great beauty can eventually emerge. You must go through it to come from it. Now, my brothers and my sisters, I just came to let you know that choosing faith in the midst of suffering will not stop the pain. I also came to let you know that choosing faith in the midst of suffering will not stop you from asking questions. In the book of Job, if you would look at it, if you would break it down, you had the time. In the book of Job, the first 2 chapters, great faith. It's talking about the great faith. It's showing you examples of Job's great faith. But they are immediately followed by 35 chapters of great questions. Job wasn't alone with his questions, though. He wasn't, because if you know Bible stories, you know that Jeremiah, he couldn't preach without weeping. He questioned God about how could you have allowed me so much despair. David, even my boy, I love David. David had some questions. He wrestled with questions for years with God, especially while he was hiding from Saul. And he was wondering, he heard all this great stuff people said about him all the time, but even David was wondering, will I ever reign supreme? Will I ever come into what everyone's saying they see in me? Remember how he began 13 numbers of Psalms? He says, how long, O Lord? Will you forget me forever? How long will you hide your face from me? Let's talk about Paul. Paul wasted 2 years in a prison cell. Right in the middle when he was doing his best work in the church. He was in the middle of it. Maybe that's where he learned that the Holy Spirit would take over his desperate prayers, and when he had run out of pitiful words. In Romans 8, he pretty much says, in the same way the Spirit helps us in our weakness, we do not know what we ought to pray for. But the Spirit himself intercedes for us with groans that words simply cannot express. And he who searched our hearts knows the mind of the Spirit, because the Spirit intercedes for the saints in accordance with God's will. It is not wrong, my brothers and my sisters. It is not a sin. It is not a death sentence to question God. We are human. We do it. We want to know why. We want to know how. We want to know when, where, who, how come. It's human to question God. I myself think something is wrong with you if you don't question God. Now I have a crazy amount of faith, so don't get it wrong. Don't get it twisted. But lately I've been finding myself asking God, Lord, why so much pain? Is this the only way, Lord? Are you sure this is part of the will you have for my life? Choosing faith faith, my brothers and my sisters, in the midst of your suffering, it will not stop questions. But neither is it wrong. The questions about suffering, if you want to be honest, even reached the lips of Jesus Christ himself. As he genuinely wrestled with the internal agony before he was to be crucified. Must I really do this? He asked. He had so much stress mounted up on him that blood vessels popped in his forehead. Jesus said, is there no other way? You can check out the 22nd chapter of Luke for that one if you don't want to take my word for it. But even Jesus had some questions. I'm glad that God allows us to ask questions. And although God may not answer back automatically like a text message, like an email, he has answers for us. Our time is not God's time.
That's right.
Go to God in the midst of suffering and ask him some questions if you like. You can ask him, Lord, why did you allow me to be broken and brokenhearted? Lord, how did you allow me to fall down? Lord, how did you allow me to fail? How did you allow my friends and family to turn your backs on me? Lord, how could you? I've done everything you wanted me to. I've prayed. I've tithed. I've lived my life how you wanted me to do it. Lord, how could you do that? See, the thing about our Lord and Savior is that he provides answers. You ask him your questions and he says, unless I allowed you to be broken and brokenhearted, how could I heal your broken heart?
All right.
Unless I allowed you to be broken, how could I make you back home?
Unless
I allowed you to fall down, how could I pick you up? Unless I allowed you to fail, how could I show you my power? Show you that I'm still in control. And I sit on the throne alone. I am God and I'm God alone. Unless I allowed things to fall apart, how could I put back together what needs to be put back together? Unless I remove some things from you, how can I make you over? How can I make you whole? How can I make you new? So to my brothers and my sisters, my fellow Christians, stop being afraid to question God, because his answer to your question just may help you better deal with your suffering. But moving right along, I came to let you know that choosing faith in the midst of suffering will not stop your pain. I came to let you know that choosing faith in the midst of suffering will not stop your question. But I also came to let you know that even when you choose faith in the midst of your suffering, it does not create a logical reasoning for your suffering. Choosing faith will not help you better understand what it is that is going on. It will not make it plain for you. It will not be cut out for you. But it will give you some comfort. It will give you some comfort. The book of Job presents one of the most unusual pictures in the Bible. The God of all the universe, our God, our sovereign God, our almighty God, he has a conversation with Satan. Like God, and it was a civil conversation.
Come on now.
The subject of their conversation is